Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my productivity system, which includes simple and easy ways to get anything you want done. One of the main things that I'm obsessed with besides self-development is productivity. So over the years, I've read many articles and tried many apps to improve the way that I get anything done. Because over the years, I've realized that we have very limited time in this world and I'm always looking for ways to make the most of it. Now, before I go over my productivity system, I do want to say that just because this works for me, it doesn't mean it may work for you. We're all very different, and as such, our productivity systems may be different too. My main goal with this video is to inspire you to maybe try a new app or consider a new way of doing things. With that said, I want to start by showing off that my productivity system has 4 categories, which includes ideas, brainstorming, research, and planning. My first category is called ideas because every project I've done or goal I've accomplished started from an idea. Over the years, I've collected ideas in many ways, through my journals, random sticky notes, even on my whiteboard. But I've discovered that the quickest way for me to track any idea that comes into my head is by keeping a never-ending ideas list. This list includes any possible idea that may have popped in my head at any point in my life. To me, this list is limitless. I try not to limit my dreams, and therefore my ideas can be as simple as wanting to read 20 books in the next year, or as complex as one day opening a business or running a half marathon, which I already did. This list lives in Google Keep, which is currently my favorite app for this particular process. While I've tried other apps such as Google Tasks and Todoist, I think the user experience that they provided for me just wasn't the same as Google Keep. I like Google Keeps because of its simplicity and because it allows me to see all of my ideas at once. I could be freshly awake, or I could be at work, eating lunch, watching a movie, or being with friends. And if an idea pops up and I think it's worth me writing it down, then I just go to my list and write it and forget about it. I also like the fact that even though it's very simple, you can still collaborate with others and share individual notes you wish them to see. My second category is called brainstorming because before I decide to invest any of my time in anything, I like to compare my ideas about the topic and see if it's really worth my time. These ideas can be anything that I may know about the particular topic, or questions that I may have for future research, and potential assumptions that I may be having about it as well. For me, it is imperative that I don't miss this step because before I do any research and before I change any ideas based on what people are saying, I like to know exactly where my head stands regarding that topic. I like to understand what I really may want to know about, what I may be missing, and how I may think it will affect me in the future. This process is fairly easy for me because it only involves jotting down any floating idea I may have about a particular topic into a digital sticky note. And as you may have guessed by now, I use Google Keep for this as well. Usually after I brainstorm an idea, I like to set it and forget it because the more time I invest on it, I feel like the less inspired I am to make it better. And if after a few weeks or months, I decide that this topic is really interesting, then I decide to move into the next step of my productivity system, which is research. This category is called research because it involves collecting resources that I may find all over the web, and it is where I expand my ideas further about the topic. For this process, I use 2 applications, OneDrive and OneNote. OneDrive is a filing storage tool that is on the cloud, which allows me to save files whether I'm on my computer or on my phone, and makes it easier for me to access my resources whenever I want. As I search the web, scroll through social media, or even attend free classes, I save every article or worksheet that I may think it's helpful for me, or that maybe can be helpful for a friend if I know that they're also doing some research about a particular topic. In the past, I've used Google Drive and Box, but I noticed that having my files spread out in different applications kind of defeated the purpose of having resources, because oftentimes I would forget where I had a particular article, or worse, I would forget that I already had done a research about something and do it all over again. So to minimize all the extra work that I had to do just to find my research, I consolidated all my files into OneDrive. And the main reason I'm utilizing OneDrive right now, it's not because it's the best one in the market, since to me it's almost as good as Google Drive and Box, but the main difference is that I have about 1 terabyte worth of storage because I have an Office 365 account, and this is way more storage than I would get on the free account, whether it was Google Drive that gives you 5 gigabytes or Box that gives you 10 gigabytes. As I conduct my research and start collecting articles regarding the particular topic that I'm studying, brainstorming, I utilize OneNote to keep a record of all the resources that I'm finding and to describe how they are related to my idea. Before ending with OneNote, I utilized an app called Evernote, which followed me through most of my college years. But the main reason I decided to stick with OneNote is because it can integrate with Outlook very seamlessly, and since most of my employers have utilized Outlook, I figured that I might as well get comfortable utilizing a platform that not only am I going to use for my personal life, but also for my work life. Just like in the brainstorming stage, after I do research, I sometimes set it and forget it because one, my brain may be super tired and not want to see that research again, and two, because I usually don't like to jump into decisions without letting it sizzle in my mind for a little bit before I feel more confident about it. Whether I want it or not, after I've done research, usually that idea and everything that I found about it stays in my brain. So I like to let my unconscious mind do its work and eventually tell me whether or not I really should pursue that goal. Besides utilizing OneNote for my research, I also use it for my next category, which is planning. I use OneNote to create my master plan for a project. Though most of my ideas are not projects, I would say that a good 80% of them are. So for that, I create a timeline and a list of tasks that I know I have to achieve in order to accomplish the whole goal. Now, in order to actually accomplish my tasks, I put them on my calendar because my calendar is my one true source for action items. Without it, I wouldn't know what to do first or when to do it. So no matter where my tasks may live at first, they have to end up in my calendar in order for me to accomplish them. I think one of the main things that my calendar has helped me on, besides remembering events, is reducing my stress. Because before having a digital calendar, I had to write them down on a notebook, and if I never had that notebook, I completely felt lost because I didn't know what the heck I had to do. But by having my digital calendar available, I'm able to quickly tell a recruiter whether or not I'm free next Monday for an interview, or to tell a friend whether or not we can hang out in a month or two. Lastly, in order to make sure that I actually accomplish the tasks that are on my calendar and on my OneNote, I utilize an app called Forest, which follows a Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a time management method developed by Francesco Cirillo in the 1980s. This technique uses a timer to break down work into intervals, which are traditionally 25 minutes in length and allow you for short breaks. While the original app for this technique is in the shape of a tomato because Pomodoro means tomato in Italian, I prefer this app called Forest because it shows you that a little tree is growing while your timer is going on. So I think it's cuter, and that's why I kept it. Whenever I'm struggling to focus on a task, I like to turn on the app and just press start, which causes my phone to go on do not disturb and allows me to fully focus on a task, because I think that 25 minutes is not really a lot of time for me to whine about, and because I also want to grow that little tree. Sometimes when I look at the timer, I feel like it's a race against myself, and this actually ends up making me accomplish my task even faster than I expected. So in a way, you could say that I utilize this app to boost my productivity. Now that you know my productivity system, I want to know, do you use any of the apps I've mentioned? If so, how? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, click like, and share with a friend if you find this content helpful, and let me know what other videos you may like to see on my channel. See ya!